Hi, welcome back to Healing with Kayla, where I'm going to talk about my successful home birth, my birth story. It was a successful VBAC2c, which is a vaginal birth after 2 C-sections. It was everything I've ever wanted, everything I've ever dreamed of having just manifested within this birth, and I'm so excited to talk about it. But first, don't forget to like this, thumbs up this story, subscribe, because I'm going to do a follow-up with your guys' questions about what made me successful, what is a VBAC, any kind of questions you guys have about my birth story, go ahead and leave them in the comments below and I'll do a follow-up video. So don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch that, and hit the little bell at the top so that you get reminded. But I'm back after 9 months. This has been a roller coaster ride of emotions. Postpartum does not discriminate. It hit me. It does not matter how healthy I am, how much my, healthy habits are and everything I do as far as wellness, and it still got me, and it got me good. It took me out for a few months. So I will also talk about that in another story. Today is just for my birth story. So to catch you up on the last time we talked, I was being harassed by my doctors. I was high risk, so I would have to be there every week. And it was mostly for a injection of McKenna and just to check on me and see if everything was doing good. I denied all cervical checks, so I didn't do any cervical checks throughout my whole pregnancy. And you can deny those because they don't really tell you anything anyway. And I also denied any C-sections, and they just were done with me. They were done with me. So my doctors would tell me why I shouldn't have a VBAC, why I was gonna die, why my baby would die, how horrible of a person I was. They took a chance to tell my partner that he needs to talk to me and talk me into a C-section, which he was the best support system I could ever ask for, because he was on my side the whole way. Like, he was like, no, we're not dumb. We did all the classes. We know what we're doing. Like, she wants to have this baby naturally. I want the baby naturally. We're going to do this. The doctors didn't like that. They tried to get rid of me as a patient. They sent me to other hospitals, They had them call me, and those hospitals called me. This was around 36 weeks. They would call me with a C-section date. You need to come in so that we can give you a C-section. You need to come in right now because you need to have the baby. You've had 2 C-sections. And it was all about like fear-mongering me, and I was not about it. I'm in a lot of VBAC groups on Facebook. I knew what was going to come at me from the beginning, and I just educated myself like they told me to. And now that I've been educated, they didn't like that. Anyways, decompressing. So at 36 weeks, they wanted to take out my cerclage and then just try to ambush us again, telling us that we needed to have a C-section. And we came at them with facts, that they were coming at us with theories and other things, but none of it was ACOG backed, which I was very versed in, and I came at them with facts. I shut them down every single time, and they didn't like it. The chairman ended up walking out saying, book her for her C-section at 37 weeks. So that would mean in a week I would have a baby. 37 weeks is not full term. Full term is anywhere between 40 and 42 weeks. That is normal full term for a human being. And to have a successful VBAC, you need to go the distance. You need to prepare yourself for that distance. So, basically I said, I'm not coming back. And I didn't go back. I ended up doing one NST that they had me scheduled for, which they couldn't prove anything was wrong with me or the baby. And then after that, I didn't go back because they couldn't convince me that something was wrong in order to have a C-section. They kept telling me I was healthy, baby's healthy, lots of fluid. I was good to go. So I ended up just staying with my chiropractor. I would go to acupuncture appointments. I got massages. I was really just taking care of myself because I wanted to de-stress from the stress that the hospitals were causing me. The doctors just caused so much stress and anxiety that when I told my partner I wasn't going back, he was like, I agree. You need to not go back because it's driving all of us crazy. But yeah, so I just continued with my chiropractors, my acupuncturist. She was like, I totally agree that you can do this and that you don't need a C-section. And she's like, and with my help and the chiropractor's help, I believe that you can be successful. And honestly, like, I feel like I just needed that validation. I needed that someone believed in me other than me and my partner. And like, because I was even having pressure from my family, like, you need to have a C-section. And I wasn't about it. So it was nice to just have that validation of someone that believed in me enough, you know, and believed in my body enough, because I did. So so I just kept going to those appointments. I was 40 weeks and one day on my last acupuncturist appointment. No, on my second to the last acupuncturist appointment. And then I went like 40 weeks, 3 days or 4 days. And then I ended up going into labor, or not going into labor. On December 7th, I was 40 weeks, 5 days. And I woke up at 4 in the morning with a little bit of cramps. And I was like, that's different. I have cramps. Maybe they're contractions. So I just continued to monitor them, and nothing was trackable. Nothing was continuable. I was like, it's fading out. It's probably just false labor. So we went to the grocery store. We got some food. We went and dropped off my partner's van at work. We did other things. We came home for lunch. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. Still feeling the cramps throughout the day, but again, nothing was trackable. Nothing was timeable. So I was like, this is probably false labor, Braxton Hicks, something, because I hadn't felt it before, but I was like, it doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like anything. So I just went for a walk. And when I was on my walk, I was just talking to the baby. I was talking to the universe. I was like, listen, I am ready when you're ready. It's a beautiful day to be born. And it was a beautiful day. It was sunny outside and it was just wonderful. So, excuse me. So we get back from my walk. I say we, me and my baby in my belly. I get back from my walk and we make a smoothie. I'm just chilling. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? That was around 1. By the time I get back, it's probably like 2 because I do like long walks. And I made a smoothie. I drank my smoothie. I was journaling. And then I was like, I'm just going to do some yoga. Because again, the cramps were there, but they weren't timeable. So I was like, it's nothing. Then I'm doing yoga. It's probably around 3 o'clock, and I'm in the middle of it. I'm in the middle of my set, and downward dog hits, and so does my water. My water broke, and I was like, what just happened? I sat up, and I was like, guys, my water broke. And my partner was like, what? And I was like, yeah, and I'm pretty sure I didn't pee myself, so this is it. And he was like, are we doing this? And I was like, we're doing this. And so my daughter runs to the bathroom, starts making the tub, and it was exciting. Sorry about that. Okay, so it was super exciting. My daughter got the bathtub ready. I was excited because this is happening. So right after my water broke, like I was saying, I wasn't feeling contractions before, but I definitely started feeling contractions after my water broke. And it was kind of crazy because they came in so fast after that. I was like, get out of the bathroom. I'm going in the bathroom. I can't even like think about anything else except for get into the restroom and start laboring. It was pretty nuts because I've never really had contractions that were timeable. I went into labor with my first son and they were just constant. They didn't have a break. So, and then they ended up stopping labor because I was preterm. So for this, I was like, no, we are riding this wave. We are going through this and we're going to have a baby. I didn't have any fear. I didn't really have any fear in my body. Everything I let the animal side of me, the actual mammal side of me take over, because that's what happens is we are animals and your body is made to labor. Our bodies are made to have babies naturally. And, I was more excited that I was gonna have a baby soon. So that was at 3:20. My water breaks. I'm in the bathroom. My daughter tried to fill the tub up with water. I just didn't. I wasn't having it. So I was on my hands and knees in the tub, and then my knees started to hurt. And I was like, that's a distraction. So then I was like on my side. I was tossing. I was like squatting in the bathtub. And I was like, everyone says the water like calms them down. And it was more annoying to me than anything to have that water on me. We tried the shower. We tried like the hot shower on my back. We tried everything, like positions in the bathtub, and everything was more annoying to me than anything. And I took hypnobirthing. So I was more thinking about my classes, my breathing, what is coming next, because in my hypnobirthing classes, it teaches you about physiological birth, what are the levels of birth, what is gonna happen in birth. And so I was really trusting my body, but I was also very constricted in the tub. So I mean, I'm not a tiny gal, and when you're pregnant, you're not a tiny gal, so it was annoying. I get out of the tub, I go to the toilet, and I straddle the toilet, and I'm just like rocking back and forth. And my partner is behind me, and I'm rocking back and forth, and now the contractions are like getting deeper. They're going. There's like definitely a rhythm to where I can like feel in my breaths that I was getting closer and that they were doing something. They were definitely doing something, and I'm visualizing the whole time. This is happening. This is going. We are doing this. Okay, so I'm straddling the toilet, and it's nice because it was cooler on the toilet too. Like I was right in front of my window. I had the window open. So my neighbors probably think I'm crazy, because I was definitely doing the moaning and the deep sounds and letting go of all my air in between. And my mantras, I had mantras. I would say like, pain doesn't last forever. I just kept saying that. I'm rocking back and forth. I was like, pain doesn't last forever. Pain doesn't last forever. And the other one I would say is like, God made me to do this. Like I was made to do this. I am meant to have this baby. I just kept affirming myself, like reaffirming. And my partner was standing behind me, and so I'd rock forward and like lean back into him and push against the toilet and just like push into him during a contraction, and he would push back on me. So it was like good counter pressure, and that helped so much. I'm gonna say that was the best part of my labor, was having someone right there behind me pushing against me as I was pushing back. He was also holding my hand when I needed to hold his hands. I was holding his hands like this at some points, pulling him down like this, like if I was holding myself and his arms around me, and then I'd push back and he would just push back on me. Best system for me, honestly. And then honestly, once I got on the toilet, I feel like the gravity of everything like made things speed along. So I'm breathing through things, I'm going, this is getting sooner, and then there's like this tiny break that I didn't have before, and I could feel it. It was like almost like, oh my gosh, okay. And I felt the body like drop down, and I was like, that's it, birth canal, right? Like it's there. And it was like silence when that happened. And then the contractions started again, and I'm rocking, and then my partner goes, Kayla, I'm just begging you, let's not have our baby on the toilet. Please don't give birth into the toilet. And I was like, I won't. I was like, I'm gonna stand up. And I'm standing up. As I stand up, I get my feet firmly on the ground from the toilet, I pull up, and I'm standing up, and I feel the baby just, and I was like, that's the head. And I'm reaching down, and I can't see because I'm just not paying attention, but I reached down, and sure enough, that was the head. My partner goes, that's the head. And I was like, okay, get ready, because the rest of it is coming. It's coming. And I stepped back once, away from the toilet. I stepped back again away from the toilet, and that's all it took. Like, the fetal rejection impulse or whatever it's called, like, that baby was born and I wasn't even pushing. And he catches the baby. He's just like, it's here, we did it. And he undoes the umbilical cord and hands the baby to me. And I'm just like holding this baby. And we didn't record anything. And I'm kind of happy we didn't, because it was very personal space and I just wanted to be in our bubble. So it made more sense to do that. But I'm holding this baby and it's screaming. It's obviously healthy, opens its eyes at me, and I'm just like, we did it. We did it. And I'm just in awe. It was the best high I've ever felt in my life. I've not done many drugs. I've smoked and I've drank, but I've not done drugs. So I'm just assuming this would be the best high ever. And I can only understand how people do this 7, 8, 13, 18 times, because that oxytocin hit at the end is like amazeballs. Anyways, I'm holding the baby. I'm just so in awe. I'm like, there's a bubble around us and we're in this bubble together. I was squatting down at this point, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stand up, I'm holding the baby, stand up, get back into the tub, and just wait for afterbirth there, because at least I'll be in the tub. And I'm holding, and then my daughter comes in, and she's like, what is it? And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even check, because it didn't even matter. I was just in awe that we just did this. I was in awe that we just had a baby in my bathroom. And I reached down, I moved the cord, and I look up and I was like, it's a girl. It's an Ella. And so her name is Ella Rose. And it's just amazing that we did this. It's amazing that I did this. I proved to myself so many things when I was having that baby, like how strong I was. Every birth story I could have ever imagined manifested in that bathroom. Yes, it was a bathroom, but you know what? It was totally meant to be there. In this house that we just made our family. And I'm so obsessed with that. And our baby is a little Sagittarius, and she's very Sagittarius. She's fiery as all heck. And she is beautiful and strong-willed already. I knew it. I knew it from the day I got pregnant with her. I was like, this is a baby who, this soul, this spirit wanted to be here despite all odds. I couldn't have chosen not to or not, because this baby, this soul wanted to be on earth for sure. Honestly, I'm grateful for my partner, because that stronghold rock right there, I needed that. He was the best support system I could have ever asked for. He had my back throughout the whole pregnancy. That's with my mental health issues that I was going through, like the depression I was going through while I was pregnant. He had my back this whole postpartum. It's not easy to deal with family member that has mental health issues. It's very hard. And I'm sure that it was very hard on him and my daughter and the baby. But we made it this far, and I know we're gonna keep making it. And I want to make a follow-up video just about like things I've done to cope with postpartum depression. Like I said, it doesn't discriminate. It can hit anybody at any stage, honestly. Now she does come back every once in a while, but I'm doing so much better. And I have wanted to tell this story about my VBAC, because they will tell you horror stories in a hospital. They will tell you you can't do that. If you had a C-section before, most of the time they'll tell you that you're too small to even birth a baby. Don't listen to them. If you feel it in your heart that you can birth that baby, trust me, you can birth that baby. It is the most amazing feeling. I did watch some horror stories, but that was more like I wanted to hear what they went through, so that way I could prepare myself for an emergency. If something would have happened, how fast can I get to a hospital? I did time that. There are things that you need to know about home births and free birthing, because I totally prepared myself. I knew that I was not going to go back to that hospital under any circumstance unless it was an emergency, because I knew that I can do this. But there's plenty of YouTubes talking about like what happens with a rupture. There's plenty of YouTubes talking about the fact that they had an amazing VBAC in the hospital. It does happen. You just need a supportive provider, which I didn't have, and I also didn't have an option to move. So I did it myself, and I'm very happy. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm sure my partner and my daughter wouldn't change it for the world. And it was very educational for this whole family unit. It was super educational. It was binding. It brought us together in a whole nother way. You know, I have a 12-year-old who I was like, in class, I'm sure you can answer any questions because you know these things. You are not a dumb bunny. And so it's worth it. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I didn't have much clips, like I said, but I do have one clip that I think I'll share. And it's just when I'm holding her and in awe of our journey and how we ended everything. But like I said, if you guys have any questions about VBACs, about like getting your headspace right for your birth, because that's a big thing. If you have questions about hypnobirthing, what did I do? And any of the accounts that I follow, I'll try to link them because it is very important to know your body. It is very important to know about birth. If you want a VBAC, if you want to have a natural birth, because I did this unmedicated, this is important to know. There are important things to know, but the most important thing to know is you can do it. You set your mind to it, you can do this. So comment below, oh baby, if you've made it this far. And also any questions that you could have for me, and I'll do a follow-up. Let me know if you'd want to do a follow-up. I think I should. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell notifications so that you know when I'm coming out with another video. Thanks, guys. All right.